Hey guys, okay, we have 20-minute mobility work here. Nice thing about mobility work is it's not flowy like yoga. It's stretching, it's activation, it's a little bit of everything, but it's definitely essential most of all. So we're going to start off in a child's pose position with, we're going to externally rotate our hands. So I'm actually going to turn a lot and move around a lot so you see different angles. But you're going to bring those hips back onto the heels, bring the arms forward, and you're going to turn the hands so that your pinkies come inward and your palms are up. Walk them out a little bit so that the back of your hands can grab onto your mat, and then bring your hips back towards your heels. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders down. And you'll feel this with bringing the hands inward and upwards. That's going to activate work your lats a little bit more. So you're back. So you want to take nice deep breaths here. Really feeling the back open and stretch. And feel free to maybe shift the hips side to side, move around a little bit. This is one of those that's real nice to hang out for a couple minutes if you got the time. You can even slowly move your hands over to one side, maybe over to the left side, reaching the right hand a little bit longer, and then pulling that right hip back towards that right heel. Walking over to the other side. You can stay right in the center if you want the whole time. But be mindful of what your body's telling you, where you feel tightness. Listen to your body. Good, and then coming back to the center. And then bringing it up. So we're going to do a foot stretch into a bear squat. So you're going to curl those toes under. Good, you're going to sit the hips back onto your heels. Really, it's good to do this with no shoes on because you really can get those toes, pressing the heels down, putting the weight back on there. This is usually very uncomfortable for a lot of people because our feet just lack mobility, especially the ankles. And then you're going to bring the hands forward right in front of your knees. And then I want you to lift the hips straight up to the ceiling and then press the heels down into the floor. Yes, you're going to feel that in your hamstrings, but I also want you to press your hips back so they come over your ankles, so you really get a little more of that ankle stretch there. And then come all the way down, bring the knees back down, and then sit back on those heels. Good, bring the hips down, hands down, lift up. Good, and then come down one more time. Once again, those toes are tucked under, hips back on those, use the weight back on those heels. Woo! I can be honest, this is rough for me, but I do it. It's important. And bring the hands down. Lift the hips up. I honestly can say I'd rather lift weights sometimes than do mobility stretches.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be.
But I do it. And then come down. Awesome. All right, so this next one, we're going to do a half kneeling hip and quad stretch. There's a couple ways you can do this one. If you have sensitive knees, you're going to maybe get a little towel, roll it up, put it under. We're going to start with our right foot in front first. So place that towel underneath your left knee. So you're going to bring your right foot in front first. And in a perfect world, everybody can just reach their left hand back and grab the top of their left foot and bring it into their glute. That doesn't always happen with everybody. So I recommend a band, a tie, a strap, a tie from your robe, anything, where you can just loop it around your foot and use it to grab it and bring it in. Okay? But the most important thing here is keep holding. Most important thing is, I want you to squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward. As soon as you do that, you'll go, wow, okay. I felt that a whole lot more. A little slight lean forward. You can do this up against the wall. You can do this on the edge of your sofa where you put your back foot on the edge. There's a lot of different options you have for the stretch. You can also, okay guys, it's gonna get crazy. Take your right hand behind you and switch. Grab your foot with your right and bring your left in front. Then you can bring your toes across, opening up that hip a little bit more. And if you're like, what did you just do? Went right over your head, just stick with the original thing I did. There's a couple options here. You can do same arm, same leg, opposite hand, opposite leg. But you notice bringing those toes in towards the body kind of gets a little bit more of that hip. And then let's slowly release. Woo! Switch to the other side, get that little extra cushion. Even if you don't have sensitive knees, it feels nice. Treat yourself. All right, so bring that back foot. Remember to spread the shoulders back forward. Grab your band if you need it, but then squeeze the glutes. You'll hear me when we do our cool down stretches. I always talk about, imagine that the back of the heel and the knee are magnetized and they're kind of pulling towards each other. So squeeze your glutes and think they're pulling towards each other. You want to bring that left hand behind, switch it up. Bring those toes in towards your left glute a little bit. Still squeeze. Get a little more of that head, a little more rotation there. And don't be afraid to have a chair, something to hold on to. Not necessarily working on the balancing factor, you're working on the stretch. So do what is going to make you get the deepest stretch and make you relax and get comfortable in that movement. Good, and slowly release. Woo. All right, let's come onto our back. Oh no, I'm sorry, figure 4 kickback. So we have 3 exercises in this one. So you're gonna have your right foot in front at 90 degrees and your back foot, 90-90, right here, okay? So, you're gonna lean forward. I don't want you leaning totally into that right front leg, but I want you just to hinge forward slightly and place your fingertips down, because we're focusing on that back left glute. I want you to lift that leg up, and I want you just to press that left foot back. Try to keep the fingertips as light as possible, seeing if you can get that left knee off the floor, and yes, kicking it back and squeeze, and bring it a little forward. Do about 8 to 10 of them. And you're like, Amy, this is not relaxing. We're activating, okay? It's all part of it. I'll be nice on the next stretch, I promise. Press it back. Good, just give me 2 more. Because you're trying not to keep all your weight, that belly button should be right over that right thigh. And then bring that leg in front. Let's come right onto your back. Take that left leg, cross it on top of the right knee. Figure 4, hug it in, relax it down. See, that feels good.
Feels much better.
Good, one more nice big deep breath. Inhale, hug it in. Exhale, place that right foot on the floor and then just cross that left knee over the right and bring those knees over to the right side, okay? And then open your left arm and look left. So that top leg is just gonna help anchor And bring the hips over onto that right side. Then really opens up the chest. Good, one more deep breath. Let's come back up to center. Hug it in, grab behind the knees, rock and roll up to seated. This time, left leg is in front, right is in the back. You have those two 90-degree angles. Remember, slight hinge forward, belly button over that front thigh. You can use your hands, but super light. Lift that back foot, see if you can hover that knee over the floor, and just press back with the heel. Feel that glute, and bring it back. Strengthen those hips and glutes. John's like, I hate you.
What's the next stretch?
We're not done with this one, John. Got like one or two more. Come on. Press with that heel back. Last one. And then bring that right leg in front, cross it over, lower onto your back, cross it over on top of that left. Place it on through and come back down and stretch. So mobility, guys, is not all about flexibility. A lot of people think, oh, flexibility, mobility, stretch. No. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of activation, and yes, there is flexibility involved as well, but it's kind of everything. Good. Place that left foot down. Cross the right over that knee. Bring those legs over to the left side now, and then open up that right arm and look right. So really get that nice cross body. Center, grab behind both knees, rock, roll up to seated. Come on over to all fours. We're going to do my favorite, the wrist stretch. So you're going to turn your fingertips around so that the crease of your elbow is facing outward. And then you're just going to gently, as much as you feel comfortable, pressing the palm of your hand into the floor, just bringing the hips back gently and holding. My wrists give me a lot of issues, but a lot of times people credit wrist strength. They say, oh, I have bad wrists, my wrists, I need to work and strengthen my wrists. When in reality, it's not the strength of your wrist, it's actually the lack of extension. So stretching them out will help you. Doing this will help with your push-ups, your pull-ups. So keep that in mind. So this is an easy one you can do anytime. Good, one more second. And then bring it up. Then I just like to bring my hands together and just give it a little roll out. Then we're going to come right onto our belly. Do a little thoracic extension, some snow angels. So on this one in thoracic extension, I want you to think of arching your back. I want you to think lifting your shoulders up and reaching out through the crown of your head. So bring your hands behind your ears, and I want you to lift the body up. Bring the hands wide around your back. So they twist and the back of your hands rest on the small of your back. I want you to think to pull and open up, lift your elbows, reach the crown of the head to the front of the room, and hold it here as you bring the hands back behind your ears. Good. And let's do it again. Just gonna do 5 of these. Reaching long through the crown of the head. And coming back. Good. This time open up. Lift the elbows, lift the shoulders. Come back. And 2 more times. And back. Good. And 1 more for me. Really reach and lift up through the heart center of the chest. And then bring it back. And down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Come on up to all 4s. I know, that one's a lot. All right, so we're gonna come back onto our backside 1 more time. We're gonna do a bridge with an opposite reach. So place the feet on the floor. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift your hips up, and then I want you to reach your right arm over your left shoulder. And as you do that, I really want you to press into your left foot, making sure that that left hip doesn't drop down. Reach over, and then come back down all the way to the center. We're gonna go to the other side. Now that left hand's gonna reach over to the right. Lift the hips up, reach all the way over, behind your head, touch the floor, press and make sure that that right hip is not dropping. And then come down, let's go to the other side. Good, lift it up. Reach over, so right arm's going over to the left, all the way behind you. Lift and press up that left hip. And come down. Let's go other side. Then press and let that right hip drop. Come down, 1 more each side. Press them in, lift, reach over, across the body. And down. Good, other side. Awesome, and just hug the knees into the chest. And then rock and roll it up to seated. And we're just gonna come into a seated cross-legged position. We're gonna do a little neck stretch here. So let's take our right hand behind our back. I like to interlace the fingers first and really pull that right hand behind you. Drop that right shoulder down. And all I want you to do is, keeping the chin nice and neutral, bring the chin down and look at your armpit and hold it. Make sure that shoulder's staying down. And then slowly on a diagonal, look up to the ceiling. And come down. Go to the right armpit. You should feel that stretch in the back of the shoulder, in the neck, and then come up. And 1 more time, come down. And come up. And then nice and neutral. All right, let's take the other hand. Let's bring the left hand behind, interlace the fingers behind the back, and just use that right arm to help pull that right hand all the way over to that right side. Let that left shoulder drop down, neck neutral, look down to your armpit, hold it. And then look up towards the ceiling. And down. Up. And down. One more time. And come up. And then straight down. Good. And release it. Last one, we're actually going to finish our last one on the floor. Our heels are going to be down, because this is kind of a reverse plank type of an exercise. We're going to bring the elbows and we're going to press them onto the floor. Squeeze our shoulder blades together. Press the heels down into the floor, and you're going to squeeze your glutes so that your hips press forward so the whole back side of your body lights up. So press the elbows into the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now press the heels into the floor, squeeze your glutes. So they squeeze, actually lift and press your hips forward. Everything in the back side presses down into the floor. And release. Let's do that 2 more times. Press it in, elbows press, shoulder blades squeeze together. Squeeze the glutes. I can't stress enough how much you need to squeeze the glutes so the hips come forward. And release 1 more time. Press the elbows. And release. Arms overhead. Reach the fingertips. Reach the toes nice and long. Bring the arms in. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock and roll. If you want to rock a couple times to get a little spinal massage. And then come up to seated. Woo! And that's it. 20 minutes mobility. Learn those exercises so that you can do them while you're watching TV, while you have a break in between your work. Just try to do them a lot. You can never do them too much. Stay strong, keep up the hustle, and I'll see you back for another recovery stretch workout. Good work, guys.